Gathering is a pretty big deal in fantasy life, and you're probably doing it wrong. Okay, well, maybe not wrong. After all, the game does a great job at teaching you the basics, but I bet you didn't know you only have to check 2 times to find the sweet spot for any fish, or that there's a way to stack up charge effects to maximize your damage output. So if you want to learn about these and some other advanced gathering tips, then you found the right video. If you find any of these tips helpful, do me a favor and leave a like and a comment to help the channel, and feel free to tune into our live streams or join our community Discord to find others to play with. With that said, let's jump into the video. So the first thing I want to talk about is stacking charge attack effects. On the skill tree for each of the gathering lives, you have 2 charge attacks and a special attack. They have different names, but they all operate pretty much the same way. You have a light charge attack that's quicker and does less damage, and then a heavier charge attack that is slower but does more damage. And then you have the special attack, which you can unleash once the meter is full. That's all the basic stuff, but as you go further down into the skill tree, you can upgrade these attacks. When they're fully upgraded, not only do the attacks do more damage, but they give you status effects as well. Using woodcutting as an example, I have the Charge Chop 3, which boosts my gathering skills for 15 seconds, and here I have the Triple Chop 3, which boosts my special attacks for 15 seconds. The idea here is you want to juggle these attacks so that all of your boosts remain active at once. You want your special attack to be boosted by both the skills to maximize damage, and then you want your slower, heavier charge attacks to be boosted by the gathering buff from the other attack. And this goes for all gathering lives as well. The attacks all have different names like I said, but they all do the same thing. When you're gathering, you can see what buffs you have active by looking at the symbols on the top left corner, or you can hit left on the D-pad to bring up a more detailed menu that shows you exactly how many seconds you have left. If it sounds complicated managing all of this while farming, I promise you it's easier than it looks. Eventually you'll get into a rhythm. I usually do 1 light charge attack followed by 2 heavy charges and then my special attack, and then just repeat that loop. You'll find the rhythm once you do it a few times. And you aren't always going to have to be min-maxing your damage like this, but it's really useful for the higher level resources. Next, I want to talk about finding the sweet spots more efficiently. Most people know that on the skill tree, you can unlock a skill that lets you check for sweet spots. And that skill is very good, but you can actually do better if you know how the sweet spots actually work. This is especially true for fishing. You can find the sweet spot of any fish in as little as 2 checks every single time, so you don't gotta waste time going around the entire circle trying to find it, only for it to be the last place you check, and by that point the boss fish gets away. So here's the fishing minigame as an example, and I want you to think of this circle as a compass with the directions north, south, east, west, as well as northwest, northeast, southwest, southeast. Sweet spots are always going to be 3 notches wide, and the center of the sweet spots will always align with one of those cardinal directions. That means there are 8 possible sweet spot locations. So when we're checking for sweet spots, if we check in the spots where there's overlap between 2 sweet spots, then we're actually checking multiple sweet spots at once. You might think you're only checking 2 spots at a time using this method, but don't forget one of the possibilities is you get the little 3 dot icon, which for the rest of this video I'm going to be referring to as the sour spot. If you get the sour spot, that means you're on the exact opposite side of the sweet spot, so now you know where it is. So you're actually checking 4 sweet spots at a time using this method. If all of that sounds complicated, don't worry, you don't have to know why it works. Simply put, every time you check for a fish, start with this position. If you get a question mark, go to this position. These are the only 2 spots you'll have to memorize. If at any time you get the sour spot, then go to the opposite side of the compass. And if you get the sweet spot, then you're good to start fishing. With this method, you will never miss out on a boss fish because you couldn't find the sweet spot in time. Mining and woodcutting works a little bit differently. Non-boss resources only have 4 possible sweet spots, which is less than fishing. However, we don't get a compass this time, so we don't know exactly where the borders are. So you're going to have to just eyeball it. Visualize a circle around the resource and then split it up into 4 corners. But that's still going to be more effective than tapping it and then taking 2 steps and repeating that until you find the sweet spot. I know you've been doing it this way, don't lie to me. Again, the same logic applies here. Since there are 4 possible sweet spots, you're going to find it in as little as 3 checks every time. Either you get the question mark, in which case you go to the next corner and try again, or you get the sour spot, in which case you know it's the opposite side, or you get lucky and you find the sweet spot. So it's not as efficient as fish catching, but it's still pretty good. For all of the boss trees and rocks, it's 6 possible sweet spots instead of 4, so do the same thing except this time there's just more checks. Interestingly enough though, for woodcutting, there's actually a skill tree node that increases the sweet spots by 100%, so that makes finding sweet spots on trees a little bit faster than on ores. For farming, there really isn't that many pro tips that I've discovered, though admittedly I haven't gotten my farming level to 100 yet, but aside from the earlier technique I discussed where you can stack charge attack effects, that's pretty much it as far as farming goes. If you're struggling to get your hero for farming because you need more Shadow Carrot seeds, there's two good spots to farm these. First is in Gynarmosia in the Viridia Plateau. You can head to this farm and then there's sometimes going to be Shadow Carrots there, and if not, you can just change the area ranks and try again. Or if you've beaten the game, you can unlock this area in Spirit Road, which has a Shadow Mandrake spawn that you can farm. Aside from that, I don't have any farming specific pro tips since the bosses show you where the sweet spots are. Now let's talk food and party members. There are several foods you can make that will buff your gathering skill. The best one I've discovered so far is the Fruit Punch, giving you a plus 200 for 6 attempts. And the recipe isn't anything crazy, it's all stuff that you can buy from the Basecamp shop. If you don't have access to this, another good option is apple pie. I was able to buy apple pies from the shop in the back of my guild house pretty early on in the game, and that gives you a plus 70 for a few attempts. If you're in the cooking life, you will eventually get the recipes for these items, and making them yourself will always be better than buying them, since you'll likely get the top rating if you do the crafting minigame well enough. And don't forget, you can also feed your party members whether you're playing solo or online with others, so you can boost your squad skills as well. Speaking of party members, they can help you with your gathering as well. If you have a gathering party member, they can help you directly by hopping onto the resource with you, but even your combat and crafting buddies can help by cheering you on, providing boosts like refilling some of your stamina or lowering the defensive resources. To maximize their usefulness, you can give them good equipment if you plan to have them helping you directly, and you can increase your friendship level with them by having them in your party as you go aventuring, or by giving them gifts on your home base if you see them walking around. That about wraps up these tips for today, gamers. I hope I was able to teach you something useful. I have been having so much fun playing Fantasy Life lately on the channel, so make sure that you subscribe if you want to see more. I might even be live streaming this at this very moment, so feel free to check out my channel, and if I am, come on in and say hi. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, stay epic, gamers. Here's a quick tip for farming more Celestia gifts in Fantasy Life I, the Girl Who Steals Time. You'll need online play for this one, and if you have access to that, you can go to the back of your guild and search for an outing. Use the keyword flower and hit search. You'll almost always find somebody with an island that was designed in a way that all of the flowers spawn in one area. They do this by blocking off all the other spawn locations. This makes grabbing them only take about a minute, and you can even leave and come back to the same island once you're done to reset the flowers and grab them again. You can do this once a day for up to 1,000 flowers each day. If you want more Fantasy Life tips, make sure you subscribe for more.